ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। Hari Om, salutations to all. Sorry for the delay. We are in a new place, just trying to figure out the settings. So we are in the section where we are doing end the superimposition portion of Vivek Chudamani. And if you remember, the whole Vivek Chudamani is a exposition of verse 2, where it was said, Na jantunam narajanma durlabham ata pumstvam tato viprata. Better than all the other births is the human birth, because here we can do Purusharth. Then better than that is the Viprata. One has studied the scriptures. In that also Vaidika Dharma Marga Parata, ability to apply the Vedic knowledge that one has gained. Vidvatvam, having applied that, the wisdom that comes through that, the life transformation that happens through that. Then Atma and Atma Vivechanam, separation of Atma and Anatma, discrimination between this. Then Svanubhava, the experience of the self. Brahmatmana Samsthiti, abidance in the self. So right now we are in that portion which is about abidance in the self. Svanubhava we just did earlier when we spoke about the 10 verses of contemplation, etc. Now we are in the state where Brahmatmana Samsthiti. So in that we are in this portion where it is said about how to end the superimposition. What are the vasanas, that vasana pressure, how to give up the vasanas we saw. After aids to meditation, we saw that. Now we are seeing how to end the superimposition. So it was said, constantly abide in the self, swatmani eva sadastitva, and destroy this psychological entity, this sense of differentiation, the jiva bhav, mano nashyati yoginaha. Vasananam shayaschataha, by destroying by exhausting the vasanas, remove this false superimposition that I am the jiva. Now, if I have to continuously abide as the self, then what do I need? I need to be in sattva guna most of the times. So overcome tamas by rajas, overcome rajas by sattva, and then transcend sattva by constant contemplation. Tasmat sattvam avashtabhya swadhyasapanayam. And that way remove the superimposition. Then it was said, what would happen to my body? The wise person doesn't have any such anxieties, doesn't even work for the for the upkeep of the body. In the sense, one doesn't work to earn so that the body is maintained, because body is already taken care of by prarabdha. Again, to understand, not to entertain laziness, but to not entertain anxieties. Prarabdham pushyati vapuhu. Body will be taken care of by its prarabdha. Iti nischitya nischalaha. This person has firmly understood that and has become completely at peace. Has no anxiety what will happen to this body, who will take care of it, if I don't do this, what will happen to the body. nothing. Dhairyam alamya yatnena, and with great fortitude and courage, one puts the efforts in removing superimposition, not in just meeting the daily life challenges to keep the body maintained. That one may do as a part of the role, but the focus of the person is not on that. Focus is on removing the superimposition and abiding in the self. So, what is the nature of that contemplation? To remove superimposition, Naham Jiva Param Brahmeti. I am not this Jiva, I am that Supreme Brahman. Etad Vyavritti Purvakam. In this way, negating who I am not constantly, Vasana Vegata Prapta. This superimposition, which is so strong because of the past vasanas, I have to remove that by this constant contemplation, because I am the jiva, that bhav will keep coming again and again. So that's how we have lived for millions of years. To get out of that much more purushartha is required. So vasana vegata prapta. So we may put purushartha, the vasana will come as a counter. So there will be a clash. Vasana is powerful, we may forget I am Brahman. Again live as a jiva. Again the effort is put. Again one puts down the exhaust the vasana, one doesn't allow it to manifest. In the sense one doesn't elaborate it. Then that is called Swadhyaya Sapanayam Kuru. So it requires great amount of alertness to not allow this thought of ego to rise and to bring it back to the source, that I am Brahman, I am not the Jiva. To aid this constant contemplation, what are the prerequisites for it? Shrutya Yuktya Swanubhutya. So 281. By listening, reflecting, contemplating. And through this, what will happen? Jnatva sarvatmyam atmanaha. Having known that the same Atma pervades everyone. Kvachid abhasata prapta. Swadhyasa apanayam kuru. Even a little glimpse that one gets. Having followed this process, Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasan, through steady contemplation, destroy this psychological distinction and come to feel the oneness with everyone. That small glimpse also when one gets, that helps to destroy a lot of this adhyasa, this false superimposition. Swadhyasapana Kuru. Now today we take up from 282 onwards. Annadana visargabhyam ishan nasti kriya munehe tadeka nisthaya nityam swadhyasapanayam kuru. Annadana visargabhyam. Annadana, to eat. Visarga, to evacuate. Ishan nasti kriya munehe. This muni, a contemplative person, doesn't have any attachment to these basic functions of the body. Eating, evacuating, keeping the body clean. Some of those things which we consider even as the fundamentals, the Mahatma does not have identification at all with these. Then what is he doing? Tadeka nisthaya nityam. Only full focus is on contemplation, to remain having unbroken awareness. Tadeka nisthaya nityam means unbroken awareness of the thought that I am Brahman. And remember, that thought is not a mechanical thought, because it won't stay. That thought is a thought born out of the sadhana one has done before, whereby the feeling is there that I want only the self, I want nothing else. Vairagya is there. Understanding of the self is also there. What is this self? How am I Brahman? How am I not this Jiva? So it is backed up by proper Vivek, Vairagya, and then born out of Shravan, Manan. Then this steady Nididhyasana happens. Tadeka nisthaya nityam. So now in this way, Tadeka nisthaya, with single pointedness and nityam at all times. Swadhyasapana kuru. Deny the superimpositions. So Annadana is not just eating the food. Anna is whatever we intake through the senses. So through all the senses, which the sense organs consume, through all the senses, the sense objects that we consume, the attention is not at all on that. Today our attention is outside, on what type of food, what type of drinks, what type of music, what type of things I see. Continuously the senses crave for this. And the mind also plans. Again, nothing wrong in planning and enjoyment as long as the seeker is in control of it. One. Two, here we are talking about a person who is such a Tivra Mumukshu, who has no interest even in those things. No planning. Otherwise, our mind says when we are Madhyam Adhikari or even lesser, then our mind says, what is wrong in enjoyment? I still want to enjoy. I will balance enjoyment, contemplation. To some extent, one does it like that. But as the Vairagya increases and one really wants to deny this superimposition, at this stage, there is no question of balance. So, Annadana Visargabhyam, Ishan Nasti Kriyamuni. They have no attachment to action, no attachment to sense enjoyment. So Annadana Visargabhyam is Bhoga Vritti, Ishan Nasti Kriya. So Kriya is the Karma Asakti. Jnana can come only when I rise above Bhoga Asakti and Karma Asakti. So with the mind which has been conserved in this way, the mental energy which is conserved in this way, that it doesn't even think about sense enjoyment. Forget sense enjoyment, basic, whether I will get food 3 times a day or not, whether there is a home comfortable to stay or not, that also these masters are not bothered about. Some of them are in the state of samadhi for days together, like we have discussed earlier. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to go into samadhi for many, many days. Tapon Maharaj used to go into that for the forest, Panchavati, in his near his home in Palakkad. And he would be there 8 hours, 10 hours, just absorbed in that. So there is no question of balance for these Mahatmas, where their mind doesn't crave for anything extrovert full time. Even little bit, if the thought arises that I am the Jiva, they are alert to replace that with I am Brahman. There is a question of entertaining any cravings. So Annadana Visargabhyam is Bhoga Vritti. There is no thought that arises. Even if that arises, they just remove it. And Kriya, I must do something, I must achieve this thing, I must become like that, I must set a standard higher in the world, I must create some glory, legacy, none of that. Please remember, this is not to say that we should not do any of that. If we are at that stage of evolution where enough Vairagya has come, then this applies. Otherwise, do the work, make a difference in the society. All those things are necessary. That's why earlier it was clarified that from tamas to rajas, then rajas to sattva, then go beyond. If I am not even dynamic, I am at tamasic level, then I want to experience that which is beyond beyond sattva, that state of Brahman. That is not going to happen. So we are talking about a person who has deep vairagya, who has seen through all this, who has thought through all this, not interested anymore. So Annadana Visargabhyam Ishan Nasti Kriya Muni. Then what is this person doing? Tadeka Nishtaya Nityam. Constantly the attention is only on maintaining the bhav of Brahman, that I am Brahman, where again the I is not the Jiva, I is Supreme Brahman. Tadeka Nishtaya Nityam Swadhyasa Panayam Kuru. That person has to destroy this adhyasa. See, even when we see, right now we are talking about Brahman, a person who has such deep vairagya. But even in our day-to-day life, we see that, let us say, when there is some important project to do or some very big function that we are organizing, so much the mind is involved in that project or a function or the exam, whatever that is, that one drops, one doesn't eat on time, one doesn't drink proper water, one doesn't have enough sleep, because full mind is gone into that particular project or that exam or a function, whatever it may be. So when we understand that this is how it is, that the mind gets absorbed in that until it doesn't get done, that project is not over or exam is not over or function is not over, that mind is fully at it, leaves everything else. Imagine when we are, this is applicable for the simple things in life like this. Here we are talking about Brahman, to realize the Supreme, and one who has that intense seeking that I want that and that alone. That intense mumukshutvam, moksho me bhuyat, that may there be freedom for me in this life here and now, I want nothing else. That intense seeking when the person has, then full time the mind is only thinking about that. Coming out of that state is a pain. So for a devotee, it is the name of the Lord. Narad Bhakti Sutra says, Tad Vismarane Parama Vyakulata. If I forget that, the devotee feels, if I forget that Supreme Lord and the name of the Lord, I forget, then there is deep pain. Parama Vyakulata. Tad Vismarane. So for a meditator, it is this thought that I am Brahman. One is engaged in that. See, that is why so much Vairagya is required. Because what is that Brahman? Nameless, formless, attributeless, pure consciousness, which is beyond senses, beyond mind, beyond intellect. So when we are used to sensory pleasure and emotional gratification and intellectual satisfaction, this is beyond that. How much the mind must have Vairagya to not have the craving for pleasures of the senses, the gratification of the mind, imaginations born of the mind, and then the intellectual satisfaction of some success, achievement, all that. Tadeka nishtaya nityam. So this is these verses of give up superimposition also are put in a certain order, that if we have done the earlier sadhanas mentioned in the earlier verses, then these higher verses they will keep applying. Tadeka nishtaya nityam, at all times. That is tanmayata, that the mind becomes fully engaged only in that one. Tadeka nishtaya nityam. Swadhyasapana yam kuru. Constantly one is at it. So this is not like a few minutes in a day, few hours in a day. No, constantly, because one wants to realize only that. Tadeka nishtaya nityam swadhyasapana yam kuru. Now going to the next one. Tatvamasyadi vakyotha brahmatmaikatva bodhataha brahmanyatmatva dardhyaya swadhyasapanayam kuru. Tatvamasyadi vakyotha. So Mahavakyas. And the most famous of Mahavakyas being Tattvam Asi. So steadily contemplating on Mahavakyas like Tattvam Asi. Brahmatmaikatva bodha, the oneness of the Supreme Brahman with the Self, that knowledge when it rises by steady contemplation on the Vakyas, Mahavakyas, Brahmani Atmatva Dardhyaya, by this firm abidance in this Brahman, Swadhyasapanayam Kuru, remove this false superimposition. Strengthen this identification with Brahman through steady contemplation and the knowledge that rises through that steady contemplation. So now Mahavakya, what are these Mahavakyas? The statements which indicate the oneness of Jiva and Brahman. There are many Mahavakyas. Of them, prominent ones are 4. So if somebody says that how many Mahavakyas are there? If we say 4, that is wrong. There are not 4 Mahavakyas. There are many Mahavakyas. Every Upanishad has Mahavakya. 4 are prominent. Prajnanam Brahma, Ayam Atma Brahma, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi. So Tattvamasi, Tat, Tvam Asi. So the literal meaning will not apply here, what we have seen earlier. You remove the superimpositions in Tvam. We have done it through equations. So if you remember the equations, Jiva is equal to individual BMI plus consciousness. Ishvara, that is Tat, is equal to total BMI plus consciousness. Now individual BMI and total BMI are superimpositions. They are not real. So we have to negate them. If we negate them, then Jiva is equal to consciousness, Ishvara is equal to consciousness, hence Jiva is equal to Ishvara. That is Tattvamasi. So the knowledge that arises by this clarity and contemplation that I am not the Jiva, when I falsify this identification, then the total Upadhi also dissolves. So individual BMI, when I falsify, total BMI automatically will get falsified. What will remain? Consciousness. So to remain constantly in that state, Brahmatmaikatva Bodhata, the knowledge that arises through this steady contemplation, one has to be able to sustain that knowledge. Brahmani Atmatva Dardhyaya. Be determined and get abidance in that. Again and again, the mind will come back with Jiva Bhav. Again and again, one has to put it back. So now one says, how is this possible 24 hours? Again, this mind which is having that much Vairagya will leave everything. There is no question of balance here. In the beginning, yes, we have to steadily contemplate and work, do this balance, because even that much Vairagya and Mumukshutvam and purity of mind is not there, that continuously for hours together one sits. One may be able to sit for half an hour, 1 hour, but here is Nityam, constantly one is doing that. Which is why this is the most subtlest job. A Buddha did not balance. Finally, in the intense stage of seeking, there was no question of balance. He is sitting below the tree quietly for days on end. Tapan Maharaj did not balance. He left the work, etc. So when the self-abidance has to happen, Ramana Maharshi, he did not balance, he left. Full time the mind is doing that. Contemplating or abiding in the self or taking the name of the Lord, full time. Samarth Ramdas, anybody you see, Mirabai. So when the mind is not yet ready for it, then we are able to balance, and we need to balance. So 4 stages of life when we say Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. Sannyas is the stage of exclusive contemplation only on the self. There is no question of balance. Balance is there in Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha state. 3 stages, 75 years we have. And you know, the tradition says actually the human life is not just 100 years, it is 120 years. By astrology, if you go, it will say 120 years. And that's why 60 years when we complete, Shashti Abdhi Purti. 60 years when we complete, it is half stage. Brahmacharya, Grihastha over. Now Vanaprastha, Sannyas. That 120 then became 100. But whatever it is, it is not the number of years, it is the understanding that how much the mind is ready. When the mind is ready, one is not even interested in balance, because what is the balance between unreal and real? That which does not even exist. Why do I have to balance between unreal and real? There cannot be a balance between snake and rope. There is only rope, full stop. I am seeing the snake right now and then I don't see the rope. So then one says, okay, can you see, this is the beginning of the rope, this is the texture of the rope. Some such pointers are given to that person. But when the person is not fascinated anymore with the snake, then that person wakes up, arey, this is only rope. So as long as I am fascinated by the world, then I keep living here seeking pleasures and doing action and success, achievement, all that. And let me do all that till the mind comes to a stage where enough vairagya has come. That all this I have done for what? Ultimately, there is emptiness. I still don't know who am I. Slowly, slowly, as that person turns within, cultivate vivek, vairagya, shakta, sampati, mukshutvam, goes to the guru, then shravan, manan, nididhyasan. There, when that enough vairagya has come, one doesn't have any cravings for anything outside there, even the basic necessities, then this tattvamasyadi vakyotha will happen. Then continuously one will abide in the knowledge born out of this contemplation on Mahavakyas. And one will strengthen that again and again. One is not interested anymore. Now, who is interested in playing with childhood toys? Same thing. No balance. There is only one. Full attention is only on Brahman. No, but Swamiji, this body to exist, for whom does it exist? This is what the Mahatmas doing earlier, what we saw. Ishan Nasti Kriya Mune. Even the basic necessities of this, I cannot hold on to this body and say that I am this body is real. Apart from this body, everything is unreal. And now what am I trying to realize? I am the body and I am Brahman. How is that possible? I am the body itself is a contradiction, is a limitation on Brahman. That itself has to drop. And this body is a part of this external world, so-called world. So when one understands this very clearly, that's why full attention is required in spiritual path to realize the absolute. My work, my relationships, etc. are a means to prepare me to get enough vairagya to make the mind single-pointed and turn within. With that attitude, I live in the world, balancing my upasana, contemplation, seva, self-control, all that. But as I keep increasing my intensity, the craving for the world, the need to belong, the need to fit in, none of that, everything goes. What one is interested, I want to know Brahman. That's it. That is called Tadeka Nishtaya Nityam. And Brahmani Atmatva Dardhyaya. That person is, the entire effort goes in strengthening this bhav, I am Brahman. Swa Adhyasa Apanayam Kuru. So now, see, this is not to make us scared that, oh God, we have to leave everything. When that stage comes, it will automatically, it will happen. The point is to understand this very clearly, that higher the goal is, greater will be the demand of that goal. This is the highest goal, Brahma Vidya. Greatest will be the demand, which means that I completely lose myself into it, nothing remains. For a finite goal in the world, we have to do that, where we give ourselves fully to it. I am told that the badminton championship that PV Sindhu won, 6 months she did not touch the cell phone, living in self-control, following a tight schedule, so much. To win a world badminton championship, not easy. One has to live in so much of self-control and give oneself fully to it. Then what to talk about Brahma Vidya? So Brahmani Atmatva Dardhyaya. Whatever I'm doing, is it helping me to turn within, helping me to prepare my mind, helping me to become single-pointed? That is the main objective of all the actions in the world. Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Ekagrata. And the ability and the knowledge of the self. These three is what I have to cultivate through all my work, my relationships, my transactions in the world. Then the life in the world is purposeful from spiritual standpoint. That I am preparing myself steadily. So Tattvamasyadi Vakyotha Brahmatmaikatva Bodhataha. How long should I hold on to this? Tadeka Nishtaya Nityam. If somebody has that question, the next verse is the answer. अहम भावस्य देहेऽस्मिन् निःशेष विलयावधि सावधानेन युक्तात्मा स्वाध्यासापनयं कुरु. Aham bhavasya dehesmin. This big I, which is my true nature, I have falsely identified that with this body, dehe asmi. So this small I, jiva, has risen. Till that jiva does not get destroyed, jiva bhav, nishesha vilayavadhi, completely rooted out without any shesha, without anything remaining. Savadhanena yuktatma, with great alertness. This yuktatma, person who has integrated the body, mind, intellect and made it one. Swadhyasapanayam kuru. The person has to remove superimposition. Till the jiva bhav doesn't get exhausted, doesn't get destroyed completely. Aham bhavasya dehesmin. I am this jiva, I am this body, I am Mr. So and so. Till that doesn't destroy completely. It cannot be little, destroyed little. The problem is this, that in contemplation we say I am the body, I am not the body, mind, intellect, I am Brahman. Destroy the jiva bhav to an extent. But out of contemplation when I come, I am not alert, again the jiva bhav rises. Again some craving will rise. Again extrovertedness will happen. Which is why earlier it was said with great effort one has to bring back the mind to that bhav that I am Brahman. Vasana vegata prapta. This vasana vega will have to be removed. So savadhanena yuktatma. Now this in the seat of contemplation, if one says how long to contemplate, it's like saying how long do I have to work? Till you reach the goal you have to work. So what is the goal here? Goal here is dissolution of this psychological entity and strengthening of Brahma Bhav. So savadhanena, with lot of alertness one has to do this. And what is that alertness? Not to entertain the mind to go into Jiva Bhav. It rises, again bring it back. So Ramana Maharshi would call it as the who am I inquiry. Any thought that rises, one asks oneself, to whom does this thought rise? One will say, I. Who am I? So one doesn't allow the thought to multiply and mind to become extroverted. Suppose one says, this person should not have said this to me. I am very upset with this person. Now, generally the mind will build on it. Next time I'm meeting this person, I'm going to give my peace of mind. I have told this many times to the person. Still the person doesn't understand. This mind becomes extroverted. Gone. What? In seat of contemplation. But what will the seeker do with alertness? One will say, to whom does this thought arise? It arises to me. Who am I? Because this I, this small I, is the locus of this entire reaction. I have a certain image about myself, which I want to maintain, which I want people also to have. Now that is not maintained. Now I need to take steps to maintain that. So whether it is positive or negative steps, I will brood on that. So the focus went away from the real I, came back to this small jiva, and then the consequences of this jiva and what the jiva wants to attain. So that's called extrovertedness. Now savadhanena yuktatma means nip it in the bud. As the thought rises, one says, to whom? Who am I? This Mr. So-and-so. Is this Mr. So-and-so even real? It's not real. So again come back to contemplation. So in Ramana Maharshi's method, it is don't accept any answers to that who am I, because that is all false. In this we come back to Aham Brahmasmi or Tattvamasi. The knowledge of oneness. It is not just the words Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi. It's not a mantra to repeat. The identification is with the knowledge that arises when I am very clear that yes, I am Brahman, I am not the Jiva, born by this clarity of contemplation. Tattvamasi, as I understand properly, then In that understanding, I have to bring the mind back. Naham jiva param brahmeti. That is the bhav. One has to come back to that. Again, the mind becomes extrovert. Again, bring it back. Now, please remember this person who has so much vairagya, to that person it is said savadhanena yuktatma. What to talk about you and me? Our vairagya level is not so intense. Our mind becomes extroverted more faster. And so if we continuously see our mind getting extroverted faster, more and more, means I am still not ready for contemplation. I should do upasana. Take some alamban and train the mind in single pointedness, having the bhavana for it. So it can be name of the Lord, it can be form of the Lord, it can be any support for which I have feeling. Yuktatma means the thought and feeling come together. And the senses are turned introvert. So whichever is that support, my feeling must be there for it, my thinking must be aligned to that, then train the mind to hold on to that. But here it is a person who is Uttam Adhikari, who is constantly trying to contemplate on pure consciousness. To that person also it is said, Savadhanena Yuktatma. Be very, very alert. In fact, what we find is the demand and the requirement of alertness keeps increasing as we go closer to the goal. And the human mind tendency is as we go closer to the goal, it feels more joy, so alertness starts going down. Even in simple thing, if you see the statistics, they will say that a lot of accidents happen closer to their destination. Why? Because now that they can see the destination, they are very close to it, and relaxes. Accident. On social media, sometimes you will see there's one video which is very popular, which goes around, viral video. I don't celebrate very too early. So there are these athletes who are running, and this person who is running, who is right at the uh, forefront, who is about to win, celebrates even before crossing the line, and his speed becomes little slower. In a fraction of a second, somebody else has overtaken, finished. So many examples of that. The videos are there. Meaning, alertness must keep on increasing as I go closer to the goal. Till I don't reach the goal, alertness has to increase. And the most difficult part is the last phase. It applies in many, many things in life. Even simple thing like weight loss. Suppose I have to lose 10 kilos. 8 kilos I lose. I'm so thrilled. 8 kilos I've lost. The last 2 kilos become most challenging. Why? Because my attention is gone away from that. Again, I've started indulging. So alertness has to keep increasing through the process till I reach the goal. That's why he says Savadhanena Yuktatma. Now, subtler the goal is, closer I go to that realization, more chances are the mind will get out of that state, because if it is not yet ready for it fully, it will have extrovertedness. Again, it will go out. Of course, in this context, it is that the duration of going out is much, much lesser than our state. But to that person, also it is said here, Savadhanena Yuktatma, be very, very alert. Don't allow it to go out at all. So highest level of alertness. Gautam Buddha had that determination. When he said, Deham va patayami, karyam va sadhayami. Either the body will get perished or I will realize the truth. He sat down. He said, enough is enough now. They depict many stories also around him to show what he went through in the mind. So Mara will come. Mara is that Maya. And will dance and all that. Same thing in our Puranas and Bhagavad and many other Puranas. That Indra will send some Apsara and then she will dance and then the Rishis, Tapasya will be broken. That is all the subjective depiction. Some craving, some body identification, something will arise, but the person who is very firm, very clear, this is unreal, this is not me. The person doesn't encourage that, and person focuses again on the knowledge of oneness. So with great amount of alertness. In fact, Gurudev said alert and vigilant living is the price you pay for freedom. Constantly be alert. Engage the mind in the goal. So savadhanena yuktatma svadhya sapanayam. Now this is the subjective aspect, that till the self atma nishtha doesn't happen, keep on putting the effort with great alertness. What about the world outside? Now he gives another pointer, that the abhyasa has to be done till what state? See 285. Pratitir jiva jagataha jiva jagatoho swapna vadbhati avata tavan nirantaram vidvan swadhyasapanayam kuru. Pratitir jiva jagataha swapnavad bhati avata. Even if till the world appears as an illusion, tavan nirantaram vidvan. One has to keep putting the efforts till the world gets falsified. What does this mean? World appears very real to us today, so we are running behind it. From that state, one comes to the next state where one says, no, this is an illusion, there is no real happiness here. From there, one is trying to withdraw the mind to abide in the Atma. And when one abides in the Atma, one understands the world does not exist at all. There is only one Atma Tattva. One is appearing as so many because of delusion. So now you see what is the level given here. This Jiva Jagat distinction, Pratitir Jiva Jagataha, is distinction of Jiva and Jagat. If it is there, even if I consider it as a dream, that is a lower state compared to the understanding that world does not exist. This is highest level of Vedanta. The world has to disappear. In what state? In the state of Samadhi. When I am engaging at the body level, transacting in the world, obviously it will be there. So I understand it is an illusion and then transact accordingly. But in that state of contemplation, when I withdrawn my entire attention, then the world disappears. There is no question of even the world appearing. And please remember, world does not mean only external world. Gurudev gave a beautiful understanding of the world to us. Object, emotion, thought is world. OET. So from the sense objects, I have withdrawn my attention. Oh, but E and T are there, emotion and thought. And the focus, the locus of emotion and thought is PFT, Mr. So-and-so, to whom the emotion and the thought is rising. That Mr. So-and-so PFT is what we are trying to dissolve. Today that Mr. PFT thinks that this is an illusion. So even if the thought comes and I say this thought is an illusion, that is one level of sadhana which is lower. What do I have to understand? The entity who is the thinker itself is unreal. So then the thought also is unreal. Till one doesn't come to abide in the Atma and falsifies this whole thing, PFT, OET, then obviously BMI, till that time one has to go on putting the effort. So Gurudev in his commentary has given the two interpretations of this verse, that one school of thought thinks of this highest level where one says till the entire world doesn't disappear in that state of samadhi and one abides in the Atma, one has to go on putting the effort. The other school, what does it say? That this Jiva and Jagat are real to us today. Let it appear as the illusion. Swapnavad bhati avata. So the PFT appears as an illusion, the OET appears as an illusion. Till that state, one has to do the sadhana. That is one school of thought. The other school of thought says, no, till that whole thing is falsified and abidance in the Atma happens through samadhi. Now, one will say that how is that? Why are there two interpretations? They are not two interpretations, they are two levels. See, Atma Nishtha is the same. One has to have Atma Nishtha. Both the options, the Atma Nishtha is the same. One has to abide in the self. In one, there is so much of Vairagya and Mumukshutvam already that the Atma Nishtha has happened. And the Vasana pressure is, Vasana, the Prarabdha karma is such that there is no desire to go out or share this knowledge with anybody. Like Tapon Maharaj, Ramana Maharshi, Nisargadatta Maharaj, they were not missionary realized masters. They lived abiding in the self, staying where they are. So many times when they asked them so many questions connected to the world, when they said, Ramana Maharshi, to please give some message when the world war is going on, he said, which world? So that is one category of Mahatmas who live in that attitude, in that absorption full time. That world does not even exist. The second category are those missionary masters who work in the world, not that they are lesser than the earlier category. They are the same. But some prarabdha karma of theirs that this body is utilized to share the knowledge with maximum people. So in the back of their mind, when they are living in the world, working dynamically, what is the thought? This is the whole thing is an illusion, doesn't exist as a reality. It's just an appearance of the self. So it is for that. They don't want any psychological sense of fulfillment from their work. That by establishing so many centers, by reaching so many devotees, now I feel greater. Nothing. Then why are they doing it? Ishvara is using that equipment to serve the society. What is the attitude of the individual? Individuality, first of all, has got dissolved in the state of contemplation. What we call as Badhita Ahankar remains in them. Falsified ego remains in them. Falsified ego means it is like a rope. So the rope is coiled and burnt. It is burnt. The rope will still remain there in the same shape and it will look like the rope proper. But if you try to lift it, there is no rope there. It's all pieces, burnt pieces. One cannot use that rope and do any tying or pulling anything. Nothing one can do. Why? Because it's just an appearance of a rope there without any of the characteristic properties or strength of it. Same way, this is an appearance of the ego, functional ego is there, that we see that, okay, there is Puja Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananji, who is working so dynamically, so hard and all that. From their standpoint, they are not affected by it at all because they are not that. They are Atma Tattva only, abiding in that self. But this falsified ego which is there, they know that this is an illusion and hence whatever it perceives as the world, that is also illusion. Because the entity itself is illusion. Now don't ask you who knows this. That's limitation of language. The knower is Atma Tattva only. That false entity is Mr. So-and-so is a falsified entity. Working in the world according to the prarabdha karma of that body or that entity. It's just going on. The jiva is not there anymore. That's why Gurudev used to give the example of a haunted house. In a haunted house, actions are happening, but you can't see who is the person who is doing it. There is no visible, tangible entity. Same way, this dynamic mind of action, realization is doing so much of activity. But who is the entity who is doing inside there? There is a zero. There is nobody. Which is why we find it difficult to accept that. But the fact is, actually, there is no entity even in us. Ishvara is functioning through the equipment in each one of us. But unnecessarily, our ego saying, I am doing it, which is what has to be dropped, which this person has dropped. So now, till when should I do the sadhana? Till Atma Sakshatkar happens. So that was said in the earlier verse. Now in this one it is said, till the world appears real or illusory, one has to do sadhana. Meaning when till I falsify the world, falsify this entity, till then I have to do the sadhana. In the state of samadhi, falsified completely, withdrawn from the world. Externally when I am working, understanding completely this is only an illusion, nothing else except an illusion. Till that time, I have to do the sadhana. Swadhyaya sapanayam kuru. There may be distractions which will come on the way. Now what to do in that case? Again turn the mind back to the sadhana. So the next part he says, Nidraya lokavartayaha shabdaderapi vismritehe vachinna dattva chintayatmanam. Nidra, sleep, lokavarta, talking things about the world. Shabdadehe, meaning sense objects, enjoyment. Vismritehe. One should not forget the self because of these three. Kvachinavasaram dattva, not a little gap or a little opportunity. Kvachin avasaram dattva. No, don't give any opportunity for these to entertain in the mind. Chintaya atmanam atmani. Continuously think only about the self. What does this mean? Should I not sleep? This question will not arise only. You see, that's why we said when I am involved in some big function to be done, one doesn't even think, should I sleep or should I not sleep? This question only will not arise because there is so much of intensity of seeking. Then why are we telling this to the seeker here? This is just to make the seeker aware of what level of intensity should be there, that we don't allow tamas to come in. Nidra is tamas, lokavarta and shabdadehe is the rajoguna. Talking about the world, talking about some sense pleasure, some enjoyment, none of that. The mind has to go beyond all that. I have not slept for days on end. It doesn't matter at all. That Mahatma who is focusing on this intense contemplation, he doesn't think of any of this. Sometime back I would have told you, what is the intensity, what is the focus in seeking, you see. Somebody asked J. Krishnamurti, what do you think about Osho? And J. Krishnamurti replied, I don't think about Osho. Such a simple answer he gave. Because that reporter was trying to get some statement out of him, put it in headline, make it a controversy. Nothing. He said, I don't think about Osho. The seeker is like that. Why? Because full focus goes on seeking. I don't have time for sleep. I don't have time for chatting about in the world or sense object or enjoyment. Nothing. Attention is, I need to know the self. So, kvachin avasaram dattva, not even a slightest distraction of the mind. Full focus only on Brahman, pure consciousness. So more of it we continue tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरु